Alright.
Well, welcome
Alright.
everyone. I know I haven't been present in the scene for a while, and I kind of stepped away from the community a bit, and I'm sorry, but here I am, and I know the game has seen a lot of changes ever since I stepped away, so I decided to come back and update my tier list. It's been a while since I posted the original one to the subreddit, and I thought it only made sense to update it alongside some of my other friends who have been more involved with the community than I have been recently.
Yeah.
And we are going to rank the characters in Doge the game circa the February patch of this year. So,
the year of our Lord, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
indeed.
Yeah.
Alright.
And if you somehow aren't familiar with Doge the game, we have the game's Steam page description pulled up here. So I can read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Doge the Game. Doge the Game is a hit multi-genre multiplayer sensation with both robust, casual, and competitive scenes. The game stars Doge and his various companions doing wacky and uncharacteristic things, such as, but not limited to, beating the ever-living shit out of each other in the Doge Brawl game mode, repeatedly shooting each other in the TF2-esque Doge Warfare 3, and fighting for the rights to see their kids in the new MOBA CTF hybrid Custody Battle. Each and every one of these game modes share the same roster of Doge and his many friends/varieties, each with their own specific movesets and passive abilities. There are many Doges to choose from, and master, and even more added in regular free content updates. Hope this is an effective pitch for this gem of a game, and I hope to see you in the lobbies. Which, I really like that last touch of the Steam page, because it feels like the developer himself is talking to you, John Doge.
It does.
Yeah, I
It
was
does.
really entranced by it when I first read it, because
The world
I'm like a newer player. I knew Spice and Skell have been playing this game for like a way longer time. Obviously, Skell stepped away, but Spice has been like, I don't know, like Spice has been like grinding out this game like since its release, basically.
I live and breathe Doge to the game. You think I have a lot of hours in Terraria? Wait till you see my fucking hours in Doge the game.
Yeah, and
It's unhealthy.
yeah, and ever since like Skell got back into it, I got into it. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, but like just like I apologize if I get anything wrong, because like, you know, I'm a newer player. I don't know how the meta was before, so
I think it's important that we have a pair of newer eyes to look at this. It gives us a different perspective than an oldie like me or Spice who have been playing since launch. Okay.
Yeah.
also not sure how long Saturn has been playing this game, honestly.
I left it a long time ago, sad to say. But I played it in the early days, so it's changed a lot, and that's why I'm here, to see how
Yeah.
much it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
the evolution.
So we have like the old tier list set up here, and I guess as we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So Happy Doge, first
Yeah.
one up. Where is he ranked?
That's actually
Where's he
Smiling Cheems. It took
Okay,
me a moment
thank
to
you.
recognize him because these images, these profile images, they're actually really outdated. Everyone got an overhaul
Yeah.
like a few patches.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like, why didn't I really like recognize any of these? No, like I do
Yeah.
recognize them, but like, you know, I wasn't really able to tell between them.
Completely different style. There was a huge like graphical overall. It was really divisive, but I fuck with it.
Okay.
I mean,
where is he
maybe I'm
placed?
just biased because like it's one I'm used to, but like in my opinion, these look better, but it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Where is he placed on the old tier list?
Smiling Cheems was.
King
Let me
tier.
take a look. He was in King tier,
Okay.
which he's actually stayed in it quite comfortably. He hasn't received many changes, and he's hasn't quite gotten power creeped. Like his
Yeah.
counters haven't gotten better at countering him, and his matchups have stayed relatively the same, if not better.
I mean, the thing, like, he always played, like, a more supportive role. You know, I think, generally speaking, you always want to have at least one happy Sheems on your team to really round it out.
Yeah.
I know he's especially good in custody battle. I don't really know where he stands in the other modes, but I know he's pretty meta in custody battle. So
Yeah, like the
Um,
charisma boost you get to the judge, it's insane actually.
I mean, yeah, I haven't like, we don't like. I usually just play with you, Skel, so I haven't really played custody battle since you don't really play custody battle. But
I think so I think we all generally agree he still
Yeah.
fits comfortably in King tier though. Okay.
yeah,
So okay, Leash Doge, I think. Is his
yeah,
name, if
he
I remember
was
correctly.
in awesome tier.
Yeah.
Now here's one of the more strange changes that's happened over the years. Leash Doge, he's kind of completely been changed. Have you guys heard of the Unchained update?
I did not actually. No, I was
I think I did. Well, it was definitely before I got into the game, but I think I heard it was like pretty controversial or something.
Yeah, because it completely overhauled the way he played. Because the way he used to play, he was like a defensive powerhouse. He was rooted in one spot, but that essentially made him a fucking sentry gun. But in the Unchained update, he finally ran fast enough to pull the peg that was keeping him chained out of the ground, and now he's sort of like this weird group DPS grappler hybrid thing, where he can pull in others to close range that he can finish off with bites. Which is actually fucking insane for Doge Brawl, but it leaves a lot to be desired in Doge Warfare 3.
I think when it comes to him, I think it was a good change overall because me personally, I found his own. I think his old gameplay style, it got very boring very quickly for me personally.
Yeah, I can't imagine Leash was a Doge playing like that. Because like, well, I guess it was like an overhaul, but like that, I don't know. I feel like his current iteration is like just way more interesting.
Yeah.
It took me like 3 months to get used to it, but now I really like the change. But we do have to be kind of objective here. While he is busted in Doge Brawl now, he sucks dog ass in Doge Warfare 3. So I think to average it out, we have to drop him down to good tier.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. Okay. Sad Doge. Where did Sad Doge rank? Are you gonna say something, Saturn?
He used to be an average, and like, he's good in custody battle. Like, the crying really wins people over, but I don't see him doing anything in the other two modes.
Yeah, no, he's like really good for custody battle, but not much else because he doesn't give a morale boost in Doge Warfare 3. And all they really do in Doge Warfare 3 is just run up to the enemy team and go woo-hoo. They're essentially hoovies.
Honestly, I think in general, I mean, and this is just me, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion since, I stepped away from the community for a time. I think, honestly, he's always just been in Smiling Sheems' shadow for me. He's always just been a worse version of him.
Yeah, he's like this curious case of trying to be like the anti-hero version of a support where it's more debuffing the enemy than it is like actually supporting the team. But it just doesn't really work out well, especially in Doge Brawl and Doge Warfare 3. He's alright in custody battle, but I think he has to be average.
Yeah. Oh god, talk about a fall from grace. King
Doge.
He was in God tier.
Yeah,
and now he's just all the way. I mean, I want to say trash.
Wait, was he like good?
He was like meta. I'm pretty sure
he was the best of the best. He was the cream of the crop. He deserved that crown. But it's as they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. he must have made some really bad like governance decisions to be like nerfed the way he did.
I know he got banned in tournaments, shortly after I left the scene, he was straight up banned in tournaments. And looking back, I'm surprised that didn't happen sooner.
Yeah, he was banned in tournaments before his nerf, but now after his nerf, you can pick him in tournaments, but then you get banned.
So, might I ask, what happened to him? Like, last time I played, he was so good.
They completely removed his kingly command, which,
What's that?
for the uninitiated, it spawns an army of little Doge goblins with small little spears and shields.
Oh.
Like, in Doge Brawl, they were essentially a displacement tool, and in Doge Warfare, they were essentially a shield wall. As for Custody Battle, he doesn't have that ability, but it is referenced in one of the map gimmicks.
Wait, so like, I always thought like something was missing with him. Like,
Yeah.
He always just like seemed like an incomplete character to me. That makes sense now.
And you know what they replaced it with? Feast Throw, where he throws a bunch of chicken bones onto the ground to act as like caltrops, but they're literally the most obvious thing in the world. So if someone steps in it, you know for a fact they are either less than 6 years old or a bot.
And, like, the thing is, I think, like, I mean, you can make a case for him in Doge Warfare 3. I've seen people make him work in his modern state in that mode, but he's just so niche. I don't want to say full trash tier. He still kind of has a place. But, I mean, for a character who, like, for a while just dominated the scene, it speaks for itself, really. And I can't say it was undeserved, but, man.
I think they could have balanced it with different replacement ability. Instead of an army, just 2 guards.
Yeah, I think that would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, you see, in Doge Brawl, it wasn't so much like the fact that it was an army, that was just like part of the visual detail of it. It would have been the same if it was just like 2 people. If it was just 2 light guards.
Okay,
But
well,
I can see an argument for reducing the number of guards in Doge Warfare 3, because the shield wall was really wide.
Alright, next Doge, because we were taking way too long on each of these.
It's Chipper Doge. Shipping Doge?
Where was he in the last tier list?
Shipping Doge was in awesome tier, and I don't think that's changed. Like,
One moment,
Yeah.
I have a call.
yeah.
Okay, you take that.
Let me look it up on the wiki real quick.
I think he's been relatively unchanged.
He hasn't been changed. I'm looking at the wiki. He literally received 0 balance changes since you left.
Oh.
Okay, and I guess he just stays in the same tier.
Yeah.
Okay, we have
Mildly upset Doge.
okay, where was he in the last tier list?
Let me see. It's so hard to distinguish. Like, okay, here's the thing about the new icons. They are much more visually distinct.
I think,
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's a good tier. I think that's him.
Yeah, good tier.
I think he's received a few changes. You could make the argument to be bumped up to awesome tier. Do we say that?
Yeah, the buff to Glare of Disapproval's defense reduction.
Yeah,
It was minor, but it made a huge difference.
He is
Okay.
pretty good. I don't really know how he played before, but I would say, but like from my own experience, I'd say he's an awesome tier.
Yeah, he plays literally the exact same. It's just that the debuff you inflict is just that little bit better, and in practice, it does a lot.
Okay. Angry Doge. I think this guy was God tier last time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been nerfed a little bit, but to the point where he's just, like, genuinely well-balanced. Like,
Yeah.
he's a dive character that can be punished if the enemy knows what they're doing, but if they don't, you can get away with some pretty nasty
I'd
stuff.
say he's king tier. He's not god tier. Like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you make a good point.
I don't think there will be nearly as many god tiers this time.
Yeah.
Like, I think the game just genuinely got a lot more well balanced.
Okay, Devious Doge. Where was he last time?
Oh, fucking Devious Doge. I hate Devious Doge.
Ah.
Not because he's bad, but because the players of Devious Doge, it's like Spy in TF2. If you're fighting even just an average Devious Doge, easiest shit you'll ever fight. But if you're fighting a good Devious Doge, ooh, you will want to throw your computer out a 10-story window directly onto the skull of an infant. It is insane what Devious Doge can get away with. I'd say he's god tier in the right hands.
So, like, okay, so if we're, like, running off the assumption that the player is, like, utilizing the character to their fullest potential, then he's god tier.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. You see, the thing for me, though, is that, like, and this is similar to Spy in TF2, because he has a very high skill ceiling, but you can make the argument that, like, a good Devious Doge player will always lose to, like, even just an average Angry Doge, or, like, even an okay, Smiling Cheems, if I'm gonna go there.
I wouldn't say a good Devious... not Devious, a good Angry Doge probably could avoid the traps, but most people, when they play Angry Doge, they turn their brains off.
Yeah.
No, I think that the thing with Devious Doge is, like, I agree, like, in the right hands, he's kind of busted, but, like, I think you're sort of, like, overestimating the player base a bit, because I feel like you have to, like, play perfectly in order to, like, take full potential of his, like, skill set. Like, I don't think I can really say I've ever met I've only encountered, like, one or two, like, Devious Doges that, like, I, like, genuinely just dominated the game because they played perfectly. I wouldn't put him in god tier, is what I'm saying.
However, you haven't gotten into any ranked lobbies.
But the thing to consider, like, I mean, should we go based on casual for this tier list?
That's a good that's a good point. If we're going on purely on casual, I think it's justified to put him into king tier. But I feel like if we were to, like, individually rank the tiers, I don't think we're going to do that. He could be bottom god tier.
We'll
put him in king tier for now, and we'll adjust things later.
Okay. He was trashed here. I specifically remember. He was, like, worst of the worst.
But, with the...
He's my main!
With the...
Okay, well, he probably got changes since you started playing, so this is nothing against him.
Yeah, he did. He's, like... I'd say he's average now, because his ball juggle is actually a pretty good way to stun targets now.
Yeah, before it was like before it would, like, stun them for, like, 1 second. I mean, you know me, I fucking hate stun mechanics in video games, and I think that's one of, like, the biggest blemishes on this game. I think there's way too many stuns. I think Clown Doge's is acceptable, though.
Yeah, because, like, he actually has to land the shot that has a relatively small hitbox. And also, it has a bit of a wind-up, you know?
Okay, Gun Doge's.
He used to be god tier, and that hasn't changed a goddamn bit, baby, since they gave him a Kimbo. Holy shit, I love Guns Akimbo Doge. If you get that meter up and you're allowed to dual wield, oh my god, the rampages. Oh my god. You just delete everything in front of you. It's insane. I love it.
I think Gun Doge is a quintessential example of a character who's in god tier, not because they are unbalanced, but because they are just so consistently good, and they are even better in the right hands.
Yeah. Like, and even from just, like, a player standpoint, he's god tier, because it's not that he's good, it's that anyone can play Gun Doge. And I think that's actually really important for a game to have. A character that anyone can just pick up, learn instantly, and start having fun. Gun Doge is that character.
Okay, Peter Doge. Where was he in the last
Well,
list?
He was
I
good
think he was
tier.
Okay.
He was in good tier.
Okay,
Um,
and he's an interesting case for me because didn't they nerf him at some point? And I don't think he ever needed a nerf, but I could have sworn he got one.
Yeah, the nerf was that in Doge Brawl, his cutaway ability, it essentially puts the enemy into a QTE to skip a cutscene. And the nerf was that it requires 2 less inputs. It only requires 4 inputs now, as opposed to 6. Which I think wasn't really necessary, because if you can read the input fast enough to get out before Peter Doge got you, like, you were already, like, a decent enough player to be facing against a Peter Doge anyways.
Yeah.
But we also gotta remember, accessibility is an important thing, and I think that change was made in the idea of just making Peter Doge more tolerable to fight for everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind the change personally. It still takes about the same amount of time for a good player to an average player to get out of the cutscene, but yeah,
I mean, yeah,
think
I can't imagine with 6 inputs it being like that much like harder or longer. Like,
yeah,
So do we just keep him where he is then?
yeah, he's been in a pretty comfortable spot.
Okay, Happy Doge. Where was he in the last tier list?
Yeah, he was god tier.
I remember him being the best support character.
Oh yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
yeah, he was.
The
Do we still-
morale boost. The morale boost is still insane, but for an entirely different reason.
Then Happy Cheems, I'm assuming, because they share like a similar skill set.
Yeah. The thing was, Happy Cheems like gives like heightened defense to the ally, and Happy Cheems, well, not Happy Cheems, Happy Doge, like really Happy Doge right here, our boy. His morale boost used to give a healing aura, which essentially did the same thing as Happy Cheems in terms of durability. However, now it gives a damage boost aura instead, which is pretty good. Obviously, this wasn't changed in Doge Brawl because that's just the auras aren't really applicable there. It's more like self-buffing. But the damage boost aura is really good in Warfare and Custody Battle.
I think he's king tier. I don't think he's quite god tier anymore. I think this has always been the case. Happy Cheems and Happy Doge is like such a good support combo, and that's just always universally been the case. I think.
Yeah, it used to be that like it essentially made your team unkillable, but now it makes the team more tough and do more damage. It's more like rounded.
Yeah, I just really like Happy Doge. He was fairly easy to pick up. Well, like he's a support, but like I really like playing the support. So like,
yeah, of course you do. Okay, Loaf Doge.
Actually, hang on. This is yeah, it is Loaf Doge, not Twinkie Doge. Just had to make sure. He was in he was in king tier.
I was about to say they're both in king tier. I can't tell them apart, but
yeah, because they've always been pretty similar, but I don't know if they've been changed since I left.
They really made a distinction. In fact, they used to both be Loaf Doge, but when the grocery aisle update dropped, the other Loaf Doge, not this one. Not the one we're ranking now, became Twinkie Doge.
This one?
Yeah, that's now Twinkie Doge.
Were they like were they like a swarm were they like swarm characters, like a swarm combo? Or what?
It was more so like a clone character like Philia and Fuqua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nowadays Loaf Doge, he's he's kind of fallen off. Whereas I say Twinkie Doge, in true Twinkie fashion, stayed exactly the same. Loaf Doge, I'd say he's good tier. He's good.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
His skill set, it has everything he needs, but it's nothing outstanding.
Okay. Angry Doge. Where was he in the last tier list?
Angry Doge, he was an awesome tier. I'd say he's still an awesome tier.
I think I agree with that. I've played around with him a bit, and he seems generally the same as I remember.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we... Wait, okay, I think I'm confusing things. Didn't we call this one Angry Doge?
The game kind of still has a lot of distinctiveness problems. That's Pouncing Doge, actually, I think.
Okay, yeah, okay. So this is Angry Doge, this is Pouncing Doge.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright.
Angry Doge, if I recall correctly, the only real balance changes he received was, they made his matchups that he was already pretty good in even more one-sided. The misogyny stat just got like a 15% increase. So now he's like super good against Karen Doge and E-Girl Doge.
Yeah. Okay, where was Sword Doge in the last tier list?
That's Samurai Doge, actually.
Samurai Doge, yeah.
Let me take a look. He was in King tier.
Okay, this might be a hot take, because I know he has his loyal followers, and, I mean, I was one for a while, but coming back,
No,
I think he's trash tier.
You can't do this.
I'm sorry.
I just can't agree with that.
Okay, let me explain, okay? He's similar to Devious Doge. He has a very high skill ceiling. However, when it comes to Samurai Doge, I don't think his most diehard, mains realize just how heavily outclassed he is in comparison to all the other melees in the game. He has a much lower health pool, he barely has any sustainability, and I'm aware, if you play him well, you can do very well, but when compared to some of the other melees...
I have a question.
Just give me a moment. When compared to other melees, for example, Buff Doge, or even Devious Doge again, he just doesn't hold up. I'm sorry. Okay, what do you want to say?
His speed is what makes up for that.
Yeah, I was about to ask, are you using his mobility properly?
I mean, when it comes... Okay, no, with Samurai Doge, it's he's a bit like Devious Doge in the fact that he has he does have a high skill ceiling, and he's better if you know how to play him. I think the difference is that the players that are good at him are still very disadvantaged. You have to try even harder to play perfectly, basically, because of how much of a glass cannon you are, basically.
And I'm aware he has very good mobility, but that mobility gets countered, and we've said, this game has so many stuns, it has a lot of characters that have tracking capabilities as well, and especially in a casual setting, he just doesn't hold up. Maybe not trash tier, but I don't think he's nearly as good as some people say he is.
I think you're missing the fact that he's a counter pick. You switch to Samurai Doge. You don't play Samurai Doge alt game.
I mean, you say that as a counter argument. I don't like characters that are just only viable as counter picks, though. That doesn't seem like good game design to me.
Yeah, I'd rather...
That's a fair argument.
I'd rather you be able to pick a character and stay as them, them kind of be viable. Okay, not viable in any situation, but still have their upsides and downsides that make them playable, no matter what.
Yeah.
All right. I just can't agree with him being in trash tier. I'd begrudgingly accept bad tier, but I think he belongs in average if we're going with
Is-
Okay, I think average.
I'm fine with that. Personally, I really like him, even though he's not the best against other melee characters. he demolishes non-melee characters better than the others.
Yeah. Okay. Derpy Doge. That's this one, right?
Yeah, they did change his name to just Derp,
Okay.
but that's a relatively recent change, and I'm still adjusting to it myself.
That seems kind of weird since all of the other characters have like what they are followed by Doge,
Yeah,
except for like certain characters. But
I do think they're just trying to make him like more his own thing, because like they're trying to use him as comedic relief in all like the extra material. Like if you see like any of the advertising for this game,
I've noticed he's like when I was getting into this game, he was a bit of a poster child.
He's kind of like this slapstick comedy that they inject into like everything, and he's often the butt of the joke, which it is funny. Don't get me wrong, but like, come on, give my man a break here. Let's see, where did he rank originally? Average tier, and I think he's gone up a bit, not because of any balance changes. His balance changes have kept him relatively the same, even though, despite how many stats got shuffled around, but because of the tech that was discovered. Because if you use, like, Banana Slip, if you, like, jump into a Banana Slip, you gain so much momentum. You can cross the map in, like, such a faster time than any other Doge, and that is very important in Doge Warfare 3, and it's not as useful in Doge Brawl, but it is still a great escape tool.
How does he fare in custody battle? I don't think I ever tried him there.
He's kind of like Devious Doge in that his gimmick is setting up traps for the enemy, but it's more like slapstick themed. And he does all right at it. He's okay. I think overall he belongs in good tier, because at the end of the day, he's not that good in a one-on-one fight, but...
Like I said, I haven't played much custody battle, but I did try Derp in custody battle, and like he's fun as hell in there. I'm just gonna say, like, I think he's just as good as he is in the other game modes.
I think if it weren't for the fact that you can't use your, like, movement abilities if you have the papers in custody battle, if it weren't for that little hiccup, it would easily bump Derp up to awesome tier. Because, like, then you could just run in, grab the papers from the judge, and then get out quicker than anyone can catch you.
Okay, Devil Doge. I know he was God tier, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Devil Doge, I think he bumped down to King tier just because the Hellfire debuff that he can inflict with some of his abilities. It was nerfed from 4 damage per tick to... actually, no, it was nerfed from 5 damage per tick down to 4, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a huge difference considering how fast the ticks are.
Yeah, it doesn't. It no longer crosses a lot of damage thresholds.
Yeah.
That's sad to hear, but I love that he's Devious Doge, but more he leans into the gimmick more.
Yeah, like, it's not that he leans into the gimmick more; it's that he leans into the aesthetic more. Like, his ultimate ability is just like summoning a pitchfork and throwing it at you. Like, it's really fucking funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Not to mention, completely unrelated to his ranking on the tier list, but his little devil wings are just too damn cute.
Yeah, I love them. Okay, this is close-up Doge, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's a really in-your-face type, like, he's a grappler. On the last tier list, he was good tier, and I'd say he actually had a bit of a glow-up. I think he belongs in awesome now, because he's just able to stay up in your face much more.
Yeah, I think they increased his HP, and just generally, he seems to have a lot more sustainability, but I don't know if that's just my, I don't know if that's just me being more experienced with the game, or he's just actually more sustainable in close quarters combat.
I don't know, I can barely fucking kill these guys. Like, they get up in my face, and I just can't do anything about it.
Here's the thing.
My shit beaten in by these guys.
Close-up Doge is what Leash Doge wants to be after the Unchained update.
Yeah.
Leash Doge can just never quite be him. And looking at the tier list, it looks like it's time for the original.
Ah, the
Oh.
original start of it all. The character that everyone starts with. I think. Where did he rank last time?
He ranked God tier. You just can't beat the classics.
And I think I have to agree. And I mean, I think it's a testament to how, at its core, this is a very well designed game.
Yeah.
Because to an extent, everything is balanced around the original Doge.
Yeah. His kit is just so well rounded. He's got an escape option. He's got a mobility option that you can use in pretty much any way you want. He's got decent damage. He's got good health. And he's just all around. There's no situation he's bad in.
Yeah.
Like, there are situations he's okay in, and there's situations he's great in, but none he's bad in.
I haven't played for a long time, but has he not changed along? Because I don't think he had to change.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they
He doesn't receive many changes.
the devs knew
Good.
they hit perfection when they designed him.
And I
As
mean,
it should be.
and I think if I were to compare him to anyone else, I think I'd compare him to, like, Foot Soldier in Garden Warfare 1. He's just a very well-rounded character with a very good kit.
Yeah,
And I think you should say that way.
yeah, he gets done what needs to be done.
Okay, Buff Doge. Where did he rank last time?
God tier, and it's still true. He's just
Yeah.
the best melee class in the game.
And he was the
He's-
first one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's still slow as all hell, but if he gets you, you're cooked. You're just cooked.
And he has, like, a few mobility options, like any
Yeah.
good melee character should
He's
have.
got one. He's got the Mighty Leap, which is a really good way to get into a fight, because the knockback it applies isn't too terribly much, and it does good damage to, like, soften enemies up for the rest of the blows.
Yeah, you can, like, you can chain it up pretty well, and you can, like,
Yeah.
follow through very well with it.
Yeah,
I think he's just, like,
I'm not
the
sure
best.
if this is a hot take, but I think the Mighty Leap, you can like still use it as an escape option. Like I'm not sure.
yeah,
really-
yeah. Like, the thing is, you're just not really ever going to be, unless you terribly, terribly overextend, you're just never going to be in a situation where you need to use it as an escape tool.
Yeah, okay. I think, this is this Sick Doge?
No, that's Pleading Doge.
Okay, alright.
He ranked in bad tier, and I hate to say it, but he somehow got worse.
Oh, yeah, I just remembered, they nerfed him for some reason. I
Yeah.
was never able to figure out why.
Like, I think the thing is that the devs thought that for some reason being completely invulnerable to literally only one member of the enemy team was still too strong, even though you can't do anything when you're doing that move, when you're doing
Yeah.
the Pleading move. So they just changed it to an 80% damage reduction, and while that's still a lot, there are still things that can kill you in that.
Yeah, it's pretty niche, all things considered, and he gets swarmed so easily, he doesn't really have a place in any game mode. I don't even think he ever had a place in any game mode. Now it's somehow even worse.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's just like the equivalent of Friendly Hoovies, because you'll go and you'll only ever see him in Doge Warfare 3, and when you do, he'll just run up to you, start pleading, and then crouch spams until the cooldown's gone.
Okay, Doge Rabbit.
Bunny Doge was King tier.
Do we still say he's king tier? Lixie, I
I'd
know.
say-
Sound like a king tier to me.
Yeah, that's because they, like, nerfed his speed by, like, 5%, and it was a surprising downgrade. Like, he just can't get away with nearly as much anymore.
Yeah.
Even, because, like, he can't get to his Easter eggs fast enough now. Like,
Yeah.
Especially in custody battle, you'll always get caught out trying to get the last few eggs.
Yeah.
Because the way it works is that your last few eggs that, like, spawn after you've collected all the others and give you the most powerful buffs, they spawn deep in enemy lines now, and you just can't quite get in and out like you used to.
Yeah, for such a gimmicky character, he is still really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'd say he still belongs in awesome tier, but king tier just is not the place for him anymore.
Yeah. Okay. I found myself in hot water before regarding Cat Doge, and honestly, this was part of the reason why I left the community for a while, because things started to get a bit heated regarding discussions. After a certain point, and um, I just found myself like getting a lot of flack by hardcore Cat Doge mains. After a certain point, and I don't know, the environment just became pretty toxic. But I know we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I know I
although-
ranked Cat Doge in trash tier before.
Yeah, and here's why you got backlash for that. I know you said we're not here to talk about it, but Cat Doge players, they really hate it when you talk about how annoying Cat Doge is.
Yeah.
Like,
He is, and admittedly, maybe some of my personal bias got in the way, but he's just such an unfun character to fight.
yeah, because it's literally just hit and run the character, but it's not like you're even doing big damage with your hit and runs. It's literally just peppering.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if Scout ran up to you, and instead of meat shotting you, he just spat on you, and it dealt, like, one tick of damage before he left.
Yeah, I'd say he's like average tier. I'd say you'd be like overcorrecting if you were to put him in like good tier, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely
Yeah,
understand why it's annoying, but I think the playstyle that works for him is supplementing your primary with ability damage to actually get kills and get
I mean,
away.
Which
I
is
mean,
fair, but I don't really. It's more of a me thing. I just don't really like characters that really rely on their abilities. If you ask me, I think a character should be designed around their primary, and abilities should be built with the primary weapon in mind. You shouldn't
it's a
just
bit
design
like you have to like use your primary and then use all your abilities just to like get a kill, and at that point you're like kind of in a bad spot if you don't like if there's any other enemies around.
And here's the
Okay.
thing. Here's another thing. If you play Cat Doge, you're not going to have a good time. A, because of the reasons that just come with his kit. And B, because a hatred for Cat Doge is so ingrained in the player base that the only thing that is targeted more than a Cat Doge are the supports.
Yeah. A Spy Doge.
Spy Doge used to be an awesome tier. I think that should stay the same because
Yeah.
the introduction of the Mind Wiper. Obviously, you can't like actually convey your mind being wiped through the medium of a video game. Not in this type of game, anyways. But the like flash on the screen is very disorientating, but you can predict Spy Doge's movements if you've faced enough of them, you know?
Do you remember like the playground rumor? And this is kind of off topic. Do you remember the playground rumor that like kids like who were playing the game they like died when like at one point the flash was so bad it like killed a few kids or something, and it was like all over the news or whatever.
I don't think that was a rumor. I think there was an actual lawsuit about that.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. Hang on. Let me look this up.
I don't believe it could have been that bad. Was it exaggerated?
Maybe.
I mean,
Probably to an
the flash is
extent.
not
Okay.
bad. I guess
Okay,
maybe
I'm
they
looking at
toned
it.
down.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, Johnson's v Doge Games. There aren't any fatalities tied to Spy Doge, but someone did have a seizure.
Okay.
They did have to like both tone down Spy Doge Flash and like double down on the epilepsy warning.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Here we have a classic here. Cheems.
Teams.
I love
think
Cheems.
I think he's still god tier. I mean, He's in a similar boat to Doge. I just think he's always been a really good all-arounder. He's one of the classics.
I just think it was a really strange balancing decision to change his like emergency shovel into an emergency claymore. I don't get it. I really don't. Because
I
the
think-
draw speed is so much slower. So you can't it's not an emergency weapon anymore.
I can't imagine that being like an emergency shovel that's like way faster, because the rest of his kit is also like fairly like snappy. So I wouldn't see why you would need like another like ability that's.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he does already have a lot of oh shit buttons, but
And besides, the Claymore has decent knockback, so if something was in your face, it won't be after you use the ability. You'll take damage, but you'll survive and possibly get away.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I think I might just need to put a few hours into the new Cheems kit.
Yeah.
I'll trust you guys on this. That's relaxed Doge.
I think this was around the point where the devs kind of started to like lose ideas for different characters, because this is just another case of, just to me at least, an offshoot of Happy Cheems. And I mean, it kind of worked. It worked for Happy Doge. I don't know if it worked for Relaxed Doge though.
Okay, the thing with relaxed Doge is that if he's on a couch, any allies can like sit next to him to charge up a really potent movement speed bonus. However, in the latest patch, they made it map dependent.
Which, yeah,
Not
I was
a
gonna
lot of
say.
maps. Not a lot of maps, especially in custody battle and Doge Brawl, have couches.
I think
Like,
it would
just
be
not a lot of them do anymore.
I think it would be just a really simple change. Just let him put down his own couches.
Yeah, like that's how it was before. I don't know why they changed it.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like,
They
I-
really crippled him.
yeah, like
Which,
I hate to say
Man.
it, but he's bad.
yeah,
Not quite trash, because that movement speed bonus, when you can get it, it's really good. But it's map dependent now, which just shouldn't be the case.
yeah. Alright, Anthro Doge.
I still hate how all of his animations are just tweening.
I think it's pretty funny. I'm
It
gonna
is
be
pretty
real.
funny.
You see, all it makes me think of is Monster Train and Bowser Fart Game. But anyways, he used to be in King tier, mostly because his opposable thumbs passive let him get off a lot of environmental kills.
Hmm.
And I'd say that's still the case, but they've mostly across the board been nerfed, so that I think he has to go in awesome tier.
Yeah,
He's
I
still
think
a really good
point.
character, and you can get some really funny clips with him, but it's just not as powerful as it used to be.
If I remember
it used-
correctly,
It used to decide games regularly.
yeah.
Now it's only like the best of the best Anthrodoges that can do that.
If I remember correctly, I like mained him for like a week straight.
Oh yeah, you were so obnoxious to play against, but it was so funny that I couldn't be mad.
Yeah.
Oh, Imposter Doge. He was in King tier, but I hate to say it, but he's been removed from the game, actually.
Wait, huh?
Yeah, no. It turns out the guy
I
they
was about to
modeled
say,
his
who
human...
is this?
Yeah, the guy they modeled his human body after turned out to be, like, a huge weirdo, and
Oh.
they just had to get rid of him. By
And,
the
like-
time that was happening, the class had already been nerfed a good bit, to the point of not being nearly as good. This happened like a year and a half ago, and by that point he was already like bottom tier anyway. So they just removed him.
So, I guess just like we just make an unranked tier then. Okay.
Yeah.
Slash removed. Okay. It's
Yeah.
actually good that we make this tier, because a few characters have also been removed from the game, like
Yeah.
E-Girl Doge and Chinese Doge.
Yeah. Although those two, they do have a confirmed rework pending.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna get redesigns. I think Chinese Doge really needs a redesign
yeah,
because I
his
mean,
design was always kind of problematic, but eh, we'll see what they do with him. We'll see what
Yeah.
they do with him.
yeah, they're not being ranked for now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Crack Doge.
Crack
Um,
Doge.
I
Oh
love
yeah,
Crack Doge.
Crack Doge. Yeah, no, he's really funny. Like, he's what Bunny Doge wants to be. He is the gimmick collectathon character perfected. Because what you gotta do is you got to stab enemy Doges for their money, and then you go back to spawn and buy your crack. And the more crack you can get, the more all stats ups you get. Like, he's a snowball character that, while they can be stopped, it's really difficult to.
I mean,
And he's just fun.
personal bias makes me want to put him in God tier. I think realistically he has to be in King tier, but he is really fun.
I'd say he could be high king tier.
No, I'd say if he's in the right hands, he's God tier.
Yeah.
I cannot like play him at God tier level, but I can like tell he has like huge potential.
Yeah, like, if, again, we aren't talking about the comp scenes, but in a ranked match, you really have to catch out the crack Doge early. If he even gets like 3 hits of crack, he's nigh unstoppable in a 1v1.
Alright, we have Crazy Doge, I
Okay,
think.
wait. So he's one of the ones I played recently, very recently coming back, and I liked him to begin with. Now he's even better. His smile ability can intimidate so many characters and just disable them. It's so good.
He is he's a very good support with all of his like debuff abilities.
Yeah, even buff Doge isn't immune to like the perturbing gaze, which like almost he's immune to almost every other buff.
Where did
Like,
he rank last
debuff.
time?
He ranked in average tier. Wait, no, awesome tier.
Mm.
And I think he deserves king now. I think he deserves it.
I think you
Look
make
in
a
the chat.
good argument. Let's see. Doge is when crazy smile activates. True.
It is pretty strong. Like it does counter like so many characters.
Okay, Swimming Doge. Man, I love swim. I love everything
Hang on.
about Swimming Doge.
Hang on, Skel, real quick. In the latest patch, they renamed him to Torpedoge, and I think it is a superior name.
That's awesome. Okay, Torpedoge.
If we were taking this tier list less seriously, I'd argue he deserves God tier just for that name. But he is a really good pick class, and it's not like he's a counter pick. He's more like a sniper, like a wind-up sniper. Like, he rushes in, takes someone out. Both of them are out of the game for now. They both of them have to respawn. But, like, he can just redeploy so much more effectively than most other classes because of his swimming passive. Like, his water mobility is top tier.
And I mean,
like,
you can make
no one else moves through water as fast as him. There are some characters that move through water unaffected, like Buff Doge, but no one else gets a speed buff in water.
And the thing with Torpedo Doge is like he is pretty fun. It's just he's really hard to learn, at least for me.
Yeah.
The skill floor is high.
Yeah, high skill.
Once you learn Torpedo Doge, you've kind of reached his full potential. But that full potential is still really good. I would say he still deserves king tier.
Okay. Computer Doge.
Well,
where did he rank last time?
He ranked good tier, but then the boss mode update came out, and it was a total rework for Computer Doge, and now he just plays like boss mode. But it's a lot more fun. First of all, you get a much better view of the map than you do in Garden Warfare. And second of all, the support abilities it brings are just a lot more potent. Like, if you place down a dog treat station, like, it's got a really wide reach. Like, the radius on that thing is kind of nutty.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like he's like so much more like interesting and so much more like fun than like boss mode in Garden Warfare 2 actually is. It's like he like reaches the potential that boss mode actually like didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I mean,
Not
I mean,
to
I don't.
men-
I mean, I never liked boss mode. I don't think anyone liked boss mode. But I think he has a very good execution of the idea of boss mode.
Yeah. And that's not to mention the fact that he can spawn, like, little swarm CPUs that have, like, half the stats and half the brain power as well. But it can still be a tide turner, which, you know, that's what the long-ass cooldown is for, but it's still effective.
Yeah, so do you say awesome tier?
Can you wait? Can
I'd
you
say awesome
play
tier,
him
yeah.
in all game modes? Because I haven't played him in custody
not-
battle.
Not Brawl, but you can play him in custody battle.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I like his rework. It's interesting, but I also miss the old one. At least his laptop mode could have been its own character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think as
honestly.
he stands, he's pretty good. Okay.
And hang on, one more thing about, like, old computer Doge. I do miss the gamer rage. I do.
I do. Yeah, I think
really
everyone
do.
does. Okay. Who's this one again? I forgot.
That's Shy Cheems.
Okay. What differentiates him from Happy Cheems?
He's pretty, like, he's speedy. He's like speedy.
I honestly thought this was like a different form of him. I didn't know this was a different character.
Yeah.
I think he
Shy
was
Cheems.
I think he was a skin for Happy Cheems at one point, and then they just reworked him into his own character.
Yeah, basically, the thing is, the further away he is from the action, the stronger his projectiles are. He is, like, the quintessential sniper class. Like, you are heavily incentivized to play him like a sniper.
Oh, I should play him now that I'm getting back into it. I
Yeah.
love snipers, and when I first played it, he was just a skin.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do we... I can't think of many other snipers in the game. Comparatively to, say, like, Torpedoes, where would he land?
The thing is, he is kind of map dependent more so than Torpedoes as a sniper, because while not a lot of maps have, like, premium waterways, most maps do have a little bit of water, and even outside of water, Torpedoes' movement speed is kind of alright. However, the map design is kind of, like, really open in a lot of cases. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of good sight lines for Shy Doge, because wherever he's going to be standing, someone else can see him.
Yeah. So, do we say awesome
And-
tier then?
I'd say good tier, because he is heavily held back by the map design philosophy.
Okay. Oh god, Karen. I think wasn't she in bad tier or trash tier? She was really low.
She was average tier, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think the thing was that to sort of up the meme factor of her, they used to give everyone around her, like, an attack speed boost. Like, she sent everyone around her into a frenzy. Now it's just... Now she's more of, like, a weird, unconventional tank, where she can throw an opponent into a frenzy, where their damage is boosted, but actually, I wouldn't even describe it so much of a tank as it is like a sacrificial lamb. Because the way it works is that she taunts an opponent, and suddenly they have a huge damage boost, but she also has a lot of damage reduction. Still more so that, like, they do more damage than they were originally, but their attacks deal less damage to everyone except Karen. I don't know why they went about it in the way they did.
It just
but-
seems really confusing.
It's really hard to
because
use.
they have the option of, like, either just standing there and being less effective against everyone else, or getting rid of the Karen Doge, which instantly dispels the change. She's, like, a very weirdly designed character. and I don't. I think it makes her worse, but not enough to actually take her down a tier.
So just same tier then.
Yeah, like her use cases are definitely a lot less, but she
The way,
still works when they're applied.
the way you describe the new way she functions seems like she'd be more of a detriment to her own team.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I think bad tier, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
she's just really hard to use. I don't know. Like every time I'm playing as her, I feel like I'm like actively like detrimenting my team a little bit. I feel bad when I play her, so like.
Well,
Oh, God.
I think what went wrong here is that the devs tried to simulate what it's like to be the raid boss when the tank taunts you when you're targeted by Karen's taunt.
No,
Yeah.
what I meant by that is like I don't think like just playing Karen Doge like you're an active detriment to your team. I just mean at my skill level, I feel like I am, you know.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay, here's the fucking here's the butt of every joke. He's been this way for years, and he will never not be this way. I don't think
I
this.
fucking hate George.
I don't think this is gonna reach any sort of like controversy. I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with me, and if you do, then I'm sorry, you're wrong. Kid Doge, or did he get renamed to George? He sucks.
Yeah, the thing is, he's always been named George, but like they've been making a push to make people know that recently.
And I don't know why, because no one likes him.
Yeah, like everything he's designed to do, he just sucks at. Because like in Doge Brawl, he's supposed to be a zoner for some reason. I don't know why, and like his projectiles. His little baby arms can't throw them more than 3 feet in front of him. In Doge Warfare, again, his projectiles are so short range and they hardly do any damage. Like, sure, his Lego caltrops are effective, but they're brightly colored plastic bricks on the ground. If you step in those, it's your fault.
I would be real.
mean,
I don't think I've ever seen George like in an actual like. I think I've seen like a. Whenever I see George, it's like a bot playing as him or something.
Yeah, and I think they just genuinely didn't know what to do with him in custody battles, so he is just the MacGuffin.
I think he's a contender for worst character in the game.
Yeah, like I don't know what they were thinking.
Here's a
And-
question from.
From
was
one of the
that-
best, from one of the worst to one of the best.
I was
Walter.
gonna say, just perfection. Just perfection. I don't know what to say
Walter.
about Walter that hasn't been said. Walter.
Like,
He's awesome.
I think
love
all we
Walter.
have to say, I think the only thing we can say is to just quote Walter himself. Say it with me, everyone. I like fire truck
Trucks
and monster trucks.
monster truck.
Walter.
Walter. And I think, I mean, he's one of the best additions to the game I think they ever made, because he's actually, I think he's a DLC cross-promotion character, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, with Walter's fire truck and monster truck Ultimate Smash Arena.
Yeah.
Which, on its own, is just a really dumb, fun game. Like, I could watch those fire trucks and monster trucks like crush each other to fucking scrap pancakes for hours on end.
Okay, I think this is another promotional character.
Roblox Doge.
Yeah,
Roblox
I like how primary changes. So you can equip different gear.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
flexible.
I think with Roblox Doge, though, he's kind of in a similar boat to, like, I want to say, like, less Unicorn Chomper, more like what the intention behind the Cheetos characters in Garden Warfare 1 was, to where, like, it was like a cross-promotion between, like, Doge the game and Roblox, and I don't actually think you can get him anymore in the game.
Yeah, no, I think
Hmm.
I think like
I
The-
mean,
the way it
Spice.
is-
Come on, you gotta have one of those codes lying around somewhere. Like,
yeah, I might. Well, actually, no, I never played Roblox. Actually, I just I just kind of got.
Did you
I
cheat
made
him
an
in?
account. I made an account purely to get the code, and I never touched it since.
Okay.
I don't know if there are any codes still linked to that account, but
I mean,
I don't remember the
I was a
password to it
pretty
anyway.
I was a pretty avid Roblox player, so I think I have him too. I mean, he's a pretty fun character though. I mean, I don't see what the harm would be in just letting everyone have him though. It's not like he's
Yeah.
especially good or anything. I think
Yeah.
he's
And,
I think he's
and it's
awesome
weird
here.
because it's like they want to treat him as a legacy character, but they also gave him a next bot mode in like the last patch, where like he gets a really good speed buff and like an insta kill on touch ability. Granted, you need to activate it manually, but like his movement control is a whole lot worse despite the speed increase. I don't know why they're still updating him as a character and giving him like whole entire new modes if they're not going to make him available again, but yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Corn Doge.
The corn is just Uber charge. If he shares the corn with you, it's just Uber.
Oh, right, yeah, isn't he like one of the best supports in the game?
Yeah, genuinely. He can spend kernels of the corn to heal you, but like the kernels build over time, right? And
Yeah.
once he reaches a full cob, once he's cobbed, he can pop Uber. And
Okay.
obviously that makes some real game-changing plays.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I prefer the happies, but maybe that's just me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're
It's
Yeah.
a preference thing, but I think
Yeah.
generally speaking, in terms of like what is most viable, Corn Doge is the best. But obviously, not everyone plays in terms of what is the most viable. We did say earlier this is focused on casual, anyways.
yeah.
Cowboy
Doge. I have one word for Cowboy Doge as to why he should be God tier. Desperado.
Yeah,
Just that passive to like the way Desperado works, for those who don't know, is that if you are dropped below 30% health, you can quick draw your revolver and just it's an insta-lock headshot.
Was it like, was it like buffs? Because it's, because like, I see on the old tier list, he's like in king tier.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
used to be at like 10% health, which you did still have to activate it. So not a lot of people had that like reaction time, but in like not the most recent patch, like 2 or 3 patches ago, they buffed it to like it's a 30% threshold, where it's just a lot more of an accessible ability. So you really need like at least 2 people to take a Cowboy Doge down.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't really have anything to add to that. I just think you're right. I mean, I think everyone agrees. He's just one of the best. Twinkie Doge.
Oh, Twinkie Doge, the unchanging. Was king tier before, received literally 0 balance changes, just like a Twinkie.
Yep. He's just
He's
all
not
around
aged
good.
today. Not aged today.
Confused Doge.
So, Confused Doge is a bit weird now, because now he's like questionnaire Doge for some reason. I think they tried in like one of the sort of story arcs they tried to do like half a year ago. They kind of turned him into the Riddler.
Mm.
And while it's a fun character change, it didn't really actually affect his kit all too much, so just kind of wondering why. So he's still pretty average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting case because this character, and we haven't brought it up until now, this character is actually exclusive to the campaign last I checked. This is Doge 2. I'm pretty sure that's just his name.
They changed it like about 2 or 3 months after you left. You might have heard about it, but this is just like future Doge now.
Oh,
like,
right,
Doge
yeah.
from the future.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the way correct me if I'm wrong in the story, the way it works in story mode is you just play through like the campaign as Doge,
Yeah.
and then at the end you fight future Doge.
Yeah.
And
I believe like the official name is Doge 2033.
Yeah, and I mean,
I've
if
played
I remember correctly,
I've played around
oh,
with him in like the campaign a lot, and honestly, like I really want to see him in like all the other main game modes. But, like,
yeah, he's a new game plus character for the campaign. Like after you beat him as the like you play through,
I mean,
as
I
I
get
said, you play through the campaign as normal Doge, and then you beat Doge 2023, and then you can play through again as him and his own story.
Okay, here's the
And
thing.
I mean, I
Um,
get that, but okay, go on to
you
Spice.
you can play as Doge 2033 in custody battle. If a map event happens, if
ah,
the wheel of fate spins and it becomes the future pedestal of honor, like
Oh yeah, and you
it
get to play
drops
as like
it drops laser Excalibur in the middle of the map, and whoever can get to it first and pull it becomes Doge
yeah. I was
2033.
about to say
And they
it's like a thing where it's like everyone against the Doge, the future Doge
yeah,
yeah.
player.
And I mean, honestly, if I can go on a brief tangent about the story mode, I mean, I think it's like expertly written. I think it's one of the best stories I've ever experienced in any game. It's very moving, and I don't think the campaign in this game gets nearly enough attention or praise it
Yeah,
deserves.
I've like what is it? After playing through, like when I got to the ending, I was like 2 months back. I was like bawling my eyes out. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
yeah.
lie.
it's very moving. It's very good.
In the old days, I remember that people would spread rumors of very convoluted ways of unlocking him as a playable character in every mode.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Remember,
swear
I
to God,
remember.
I swear to God, I feel like this is still sort of a thing, even if I'm a new player, because I've had people try to trick me into thinking that like there's ways to unlock him in the other game modes.
That's funny.
Let me guess. Let me guess. Someone told you that in Doge Brawl, if you win one a match with every character in a row and closed it out by using their super, you'd unlock Doge 2033. Was that it?
Yeah, 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 exactly that. I've
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah, that's a really common one.
Where I'm going with this is that I like his status as a special, unobtainable character.
Yeah,
Even though, admittedly, it would be cool to play him in the modes he's not in.
Yeah.
I do
This-
think he shows up precisely as much as he needs to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if he showed up too much, it would kind of spoil the campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, Desolate Doge. Where was he last time?
He was in King tier, and he actually got a complete overhaul. Desolate Doge used to be about debuffing the enemy team, but now he's kind of an anti-base Doge. Like, he does the opposite of everything base Doge does. And the thing is, if you're doing the opposite of a really good kit, what are you doing? You
yeah,
know?
kind of setting
Like, what's
yourself
that
up for
imply?
failure.
Yeah, I don't think I can quite call him trash tier, but he is definitely low bad tier.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is
I think that's Misery Doge. Yeah, when the rework for Desolate Doge dropped, he kind of took up the mantle of Desolate Doge as the de facto enemy debuffer. Like, you know what they say, misery loves company, and whoo boy, does he spread the misery. If there is a Misery Doge on your enemy team, your entire team is going to be having a hard time because your damage is going to be nerfed, your armor is going to be nerfed, your speed is going to be nerfed ever so slightly, and it's just a really painful experience to fight one. But that does make Misery Doge incredibly powerful, so I think he's got to be in King tier.
Yeah, I agree. This one,
I think it's
It's
called
a-
Snarl Doge. I don't know, I don't play this one much.
This one's a classic. I tried him out. It hasn't changed. Let me see where you put him before.
used to be in awesome tier, and I'll be honest, Snarldoge never quite clicked with me, but I've seen good Snarldoge players, and
think
I
he's
can't
pretty
call
fun.
them. Yeah, I can't say it's anywhere below good.
Yeah, so I think just putting him in good is a good compromise.
Like, I think there are a few balance changes that somewhat brought his performance down, but for those who know how to play Snarldoge, for those people that have just clicked with Snarldoge, I've heard really good things about Snarldoge.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't play enough to notice the difference.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played around with him enough to really comment either.
Yeah. Beams.
Mm.
Beams. So
Where did he
the
rank
thing with
last time?
Beams is that Beams was a god tier because he is essentially a walking time bomb. The thing with Beams is that he's allergic to everything. So everything that hits him adds to his allergy meter. And the higher the allergy meter goes, the more effective his big sneeze is. Like, under the right circumstances, easy team wipe. The thing is, people just learned how to play around him.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't change him at all, but just like the meta evolved, you know? Like, everyone's knowledge evolved, so he's kind of fallen down to good tier just because people know how to play around him now.
Yeah, I think he's one of the characters that could really do with a rework, or at least a rebalance.
Oh, there's a real fall from grace here now. Butter Doge.
It makes me sad.
What did
Because
they do to him?
they made him slippery.
He was top of God tier.
Yeah.
And like when I came back, he was one of my, he was one of my mains before I left, and when I came back,
he's literally unplayable. Every surface is ice to him now. Like,
And-
you just have no fucking control over where he goes.
I just don't know why they changed him like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think like when he was reworked, it was around April, so people just assumed it was like an April Fool's update, but he just stayed that way.
yeah, no. Like there was literally, this is not a season April Fool's joke, right? But then because the thing is, the update launched on April 3rd, so people thought it was slightly out of season, and then it just stayed.
Does
Into
he
May.
still have wall bounces?
Yeah, but
Okay.
that doesn't really do much if you can't control where you're going,
Yeah,
which
I
wall
can,
you're going to, anyways.
I've
No.
tried playing him.
No,
It's really hard to get like wall bounces when you're like slipping around. Like I've tried, I'll try to jump towards a wall and I just fly right past it because my momentum was in a completely different direction.
It's especially bad in custody battle because you
It's
just slip right into the enemy towers.
his kit allows you to not be on the ground much anyway, so that's why I'm willing to give it a shot still.
I'm sorry, Saturn, but you're setting yourself up to be disappointed. I just want you to know that.
I just think like in general, and I've said this about a lot of melee characters, but I think with Butter Doge especially, you're just better off playing anyone else. I mean, I don't think he's as bad as George, but
Last but not least,
Russian
Comrade Doge.
I like
You
him.
see, I think it was a weird call to replace his fucking what's the gun called? It's not an AK. It's like something else. It was like a LMG or something. But they swapped it out with a shotgun, and while I think it's a really weird call in general, it's still a really good shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, not to mention he's like immune to like all of like the environmental effects on maps. Like, you bring that man to like Wasteland or Ice Cap, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's got his strengths are in his passives. His abilities aren't anything to write home about, and his primary is all right, but he's just good everywhere. There's no environment he's bad in.
Yeah, he's just a good all-arounder. So I think
Yeah.
just awesome tier.
A part of me feels like he should stay in king tier, but I think it just is the realistic call to put him in awesome tier because a lot of characters just aren't good. You like can't close the gap a bunch as Comrade Doge,
Yeah.
and so you can't hit them with those really good meat shots. The LMG was just generally better for mid range,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
And going through kin tier, I'm just going to do a bit of reorganizing here. I think we drop down Devious Doge and Crazy Doge.
I wouldn't say drop Crazy Doge down to awesome, but he can be on the bottom of king tier.
Yeah. And I'll also bump down Twinkie Doge, I think.
I can understand why Crazy Doge is not for everyone. A lot of what he does feels like a gamble. That's how I like it.
I was going to argue against Twinkie Doge being placed down, but I suppose the thing with not changing throughout the entire history of the game is that everyone else changes.
Yeah.
So I think it is actually a fair assessment.
And I think, just last quick change I'm going to make here, I think Buff Doge just bump down just ever so slightly to, top of King tier, because, it's more of a personal thing. I just think, generally speaking, melee characters are just a bit weaker than the all-arounders in God tier. They tend to get countered, often, so... But I still think top of King tier is very good for him.
I feel like Buff Doge is enough of just an unstoppable force to sort of get past that. I'd say he still belongs in God tier, but I do think your argument is sound at least.
Alright. And so I think with that we have wrapped up the Doge the Game tier list.
Yay! Woohoo.
I'm very glad. I think overall, I'm gonna try and get more back into the community. I know I took a break for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and weasel my way in a bit more, and I hope to see you guys in the lobbies. Is all I'm gonna say.
I hope to see you guys in the lobbies as well. However, Lixie, there's something I need to do with you. I need to.
What's up?
I need to 1v1 you in the dog park.
Oh.
I want to show you just how much King Doge has fallen.
Okay, I don't think you... Spice, I don't think you realize this is Hydrated Bomb versus Coughing Baby.
Exactly. I think you need to witness that firsthand just because of how pathetic it is.
I want to see that too. I'm the one who can really gauge the difference.
Yeah, you can spectate the match.
Alright. I think I'll join you guys too. Alright.
Okay, yeah.
Let's hop on.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
See you in the lobbies.
See you in the
lobbies.